going on, everybody? It is David Nazario here for the RDG Soul Speak podcast series, where we speak about community, people, solutions, and the whys. Today we have a very special guest with us, Johanny Cepeda-Freytiz.
Nice.
Hello, did
Hi,
I get
Dave.
that right?
Yeah, you sure did.
What's going
Good
on?
job. Good. Thank you for having me here on your show. It's always a pleasure to, build and bond with you.
Yes, thanks for coming on. So I want to jump right into it. What has been the most surprising thing about your Reading, PA journey so far?
Surprising thing.
Or unexpected.
Well, first, you are, obviously I'm from New York City. So New York City is pretty big compared to Reading. So I think that the experience of being kind of like face to face with a mayor is pretty unexpected and surprising for me to be so close to like our senators, our commissioners, our elected officials. Right. I think that has been like an awe for me to an extent because I never had that experience or opportunity while living in New York City.
Okay.
So the fact that, I've had numerous people just come on in, have lunch at Mi Casa Su Casa, and just be able to get their attention on a one-on-one. It's pretty amazing, actually, because you don't see, that's very rare where I come from.
Right. The mayor in New York City is like a celebrity. You don't really get to...
Bodyguards. Right. You don't, I don't even know if you can even get an appointment to see him. So
that actually leads me to my next question. So just tell the people a little bit about yourself. And also I wanted to touch on the work that you've done in New York City, because a lot of people don't know about your educational background and all the community organizing and things like that you've done in New York.
So in New York City, I ran a community center.
Okay.
In the Lower East Side of Manhattan. We served about 1,200 youth throughout the year and 150 adults. All services were free. So we provided after-school programs for children. We did pick up at the schools and bring them to
How was it funded?
Through the city, the Department of Community Youth and Development were the primary funders. It was called a Beacon Center. Okay. So when I lived in New York, there were about 80 of them throughout the 5 boroughs. Okay. And the intent or the goal of these community centers was to keep children and teens off the streets, keep them engaged, right. Giving them positive outlets so that they wouldn't, because a lot of these kids are latchkey kids, so their parents are working, they're going home to be by themselves, so here we provided this space. Okay. Furthermore, we also provided free GED and ESL classes to the adults and childcare, so that parents would not have an excuse not to come further their education or learn English as a second language.
And you ran a center?
I ran the center. And we also had private funding. We did teenage pregnancy prevention. We did college and career exploratory programs. We did a lot. We used to run a lot of basketball tournaments for the more at-risk, or labeled at-risk, because I don't see my formal training. We didn't label people at risk or youth at risk. It was always at potential, right? So I come from a strengths-based approach. That. Always. So that's why when I engage with people, even here in Reading, I try to see what's good about them. And I work from there.
Right, because we're a city that's at potential.
Absolutely. I've always said that it's always at potential. We just have to tap into that I guess that talent, that treasure, the strengths. And Dave, in our conversations a lot of time, I'm like, gosh, we're such a rich city despite the hype. We're very rich because we're so diverse. We're so talented. I mean, look at you. You're a product of the city of Reading. Look, you're doing amazing things.
RSD proud. Thank you. So what is your educational background? Because I think a lot of people don't know that as well.
I do have a master's degree, counseling. Okay. It's called the Master of Science in Education. And while working in New York as a community center director, I was also pursuing my master's degree. So I had a great opportunity to work in the school building where the community center was housed. And I was their part-time guidance counselor doing college counseling in particular. Awesome. So I did a lot of college trips, college fairs, even career fairs. And I helped the teens out with, the application process, the financial aid, and scholarship opportunities as well. Like I have some success stories that, I'm very proud of. Right. I had one student that got accepted into Posse. She went to Lafayette University, graduated. I mean, she has a master's degree right now. Is. Oh, Posse. Oh, I'm sorry. It's similar to what you do in the Reading High School with the College Bound program.
Upward Bound, yep.
Upward Bound. So Posse is actually in New York City is a program where a lot of the students throughout the different high schools, they have to apply and they have to be selected. Okay. And they go through this severe interview, I say severe, extraneous interview process. They observe the youth, and youth who kind of like shine get accepted to be part of the scholarship program. Awesome. And then as a result, they get their 4 years of college paid to some of these distinguished colleges like Lafayette University, for example.
Very good. do you think that that's a misconception about you, that people don't know that you have this background in community organizing? They don't know that you have a master's degree. They think that you are someone who's just running a restaurant, and now here you are, community activist or city council person.
I think I get underestimated a lot because people really don't know me. They know me by what they see.
Right.
So, because, you know, and quite frankly, I don't have a restaurant management experience. I do not have a background in business. I really don't. My background has always been in nonprofit management. And I think that being able to communicate with others and empower community advocate and build with them is what's allowed me to have success at the restaurant, because I don't, you know, the restaurant, Mi Casa Su Casa, I mean, look at the name of it, you know, it's more than just about Johanny and her family making money. That wasn't our ultimate goal. I mean, really why I came to Reading was because I wanted to spend more time with my children. Because living in New York, I was giving a lot of my time to other people's children. And then I started having my own. Yes, always on the go. So I, you know, we were able to create an opportunity where, oh my gosh, I can make a little money, still do what I love by serving others. Just, I'm serving food, but you know, we do a little bit more than just food. We like to build the mind, body, and soul.
Yes.
So and spend time with my kids. So it was like a beautiful marriage for me to be able, or match to be able to do that. And you know, I don't make a whole lot because in New York, obviously with the career that I had, and at some point I did have 2 jobs because I ran the community center and then part-time I was this college counselor. So I did very well financially. So I gave all that up to be here. To pursue this business. And
now that you're here, you're a business owner, you're on city council, you're a mom, you're a wife. What else am I missing?
I sit on boards.
You sit on boards?
Yeah, I participate on boards, yep.
So you're very busy, and it sounds like your experience in New York has allowed you to be able to juggle and wear multiple hats.
Yes.
Right? And just the hustle of New York. I know that from living there.
Oh my gosh, yes.
What advice would you have for someone who's from Reading and may not be used to wearing all of those hats, but wants to get involved and wants to maybe follow in your footsteps, maybe not, but wants to do more in the community?
So one of the things I learned at a very young age, in high school particularly, to keep an agenda and a calendar. I learned that agenda, you have to, you know, that's how you manage your time. Also in college, obviously, if you're not keeping track of your assignment books, right, you're going to not do your papers and eventually fail and not graduate. So I learned very young that being organized is very important, and that also your time is precious. Time goes by so fast. So if you're not managing your time, you're going to waste a lot of time. I also learned at a very young age that I still practice to this day. It's very important for you to write your goals.
That's a big one.
Extremely important.
How often do you write your goals down?
Oh boy, you know, it's funny because I when I was younger, I would write my goals like every day, because remember, spending time on the train in New York City, I had a lot of time to read and write. Here I don't have that much time, but I still make time. I sit back and I write my goals. Now I try to do it every year. Like at the beginning of every year, okay, what do I hope to accomplish this year? But then I go back and I check, and then I keep adding on. And I like to read stuff that's going to inspire and motivate me to do more. And I pray a lot. I pray a lot. I write my prayers. I recite my prayers. But goal setting is key. People need to write it down, because I believe that when you're writing it down, you're retaining it as you're writing it. You're also feeling it, right? So then eventually you're going to make it happen. Like, I kid you not, in 1998, I wrote down that I was going to get my driver's license. I got my driver's license like maybe 6 years ago, but I got it done, right? Every year I would write the same goal.
Yeah, as long as you get it done.
And I got it done, right? So, and that's what it is. Also, people need to be patient when they're setting goals for themselves, because you're not going to attain it right away. But write it down, keep it in front of you. I think vision boards is also important. So I have a vision board that I created a few years ago, which I need to update, because you're creating the story that you want to live, right? And every day you're taking steps and living out that dream of yours, right? So I think people, they have to start being more ambitious and seeing things as possible versus impossible.
And part of that is writing it down.
Part of that is writing it down. And I think that for me, juggling, I also have a great family and support system, so I need to give them credit for that, who hold me down. My mom, my parents will watch my children so I can go do other things. But also, everything that I do, I try to turn it into a family affair and a family experience. So if I'm going to city council and, you know, my mom can't watch the kids, they're going to come with me. And that's just what it is.
All right. So it sounds like we're saying that we need to write our goals down.
Yes.
And we need to be able to manage our time and also stay organized, so that way we can juggle these multiple hats and have a good support system.
Yes, absolutely.
I think that's a great spot.
You summarized it. Thank you.
You're welcome. I mean, you gave great answers. That's a great spot for us to stop at for part 1 of this episode. Do you want to tell the people how they can get in touch with you or where they can find you at?
Sure. So Johanny Cepeda@gmail.com if you want to email me. You can also see me, Johanny Cepeda-Freytiz on Facebook or at Mi Casa Su Casa at 320 Penn Street.
Yes.
Call me, 610-375-1161.
Yes, and you can find me on Facebook at David Nazario or on Instagram and Twitter at Scared of a Day Job without the O in job. And we look forward to part 2 of this very insightful conversation with Johanny Cepeda-Freytiz.